2. Welcome back, WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and WNST.net. It was a bad news final on Saturday night. The last time I saw this guy was at the game. We were wearing our purple and rolling our Lamar Jackson, and then the season suddenly ended. And then he came in and did some Monday morning radio, as he's going to be doing each and every Monday morning at 8 a.m. here at WNST, as well as WNST.net. He's been doing Terp Talk a long time. He's been a long-time guest of ours here at WNST. It's great to have him aboard. I'm not going to blame the Ravens' loss on you and me getting together, because you and me have gotten together and the Ravens have won games. And I don't believe in any of that jinx stuff, Bruce Posner. But I'll tell you what, the Terps game on Tuesday night, I said to Luke on the way out of the stadium Saturday night, I'm like, at least the Terps may give us this has been disappointing, right? I mean, and the way they've played on the road early on, I know it's disappointed you.
No, it's more than that. It's very, very, very upsetting that this is a team we thought had a chance to really go far. And they still do, don't get me wrong. But you can't continually score 50 points on the road and expect to win. And I'm not saying anything that Turgeon doesn't know. That's a fact. And for the life of me, I can't figure out that on Tuesday night at Wisconsin, again, it's tough to win on the road. We know that. But they had that game. That game, they were in somewhat of a control. You got the ball with 13 seconds left. You're up by 1. What are the analytics? You win probably 80% of those games. You get fouled. Maybe you make 1, maybe you make 2, and then you make the other team score. It's never that easy for the other team. But to throw the ball away in the fashion that they did, and then not cover the guy in the corner for a tray, I'll be honest with you, my illness continues after the Ravens lost. And Friday night, last Friday night, the loss to Iowa, that was an absolute 67-49. Strange things are going on in the Big Ten right now, and then the
well, I think there's parity, right? I mean, you say strange things. Maybe Maryland was quote unquote overrated. Maybe some of these other teams, the Penn States of the world, certainly have gotten better. And somebody said it's the best-worst conference where everybody's really good, but nobody's really great. But they're going to beat each other up every night, and all of the gyms are hellholes to go into and play in the middle of winter. And I think, look, I was sitting with my wife watching that Michigan State-Purdue game over the weekend, and you see Michigan State get run out of the gym out at Mackey, where it's just really tough to go on the road in this conference. And we say that all the time, but then Maryland goes on the road twice in a week and gets their ass kicked. And, I was dropping threes like Steph Curry, right? Literally.
Yeah, you're right, except for one thing. Maryland scored 49 points. And, I don't know how to describe that. And Maryland scored 52 against Wisconsin. Nestor, I don't understand it. It's the same, you've seen Hoosiers. It's the same ball. The rim's 10 feet. The court's the same length. I just don't get it. And you're right. The whole Big Ten is better. Tom Izzo had a great take on it. I watched his post-game press conference, and he said a lot of teams are freshman and sophomore oriented. And the younger you are, the tougher it is to win on the road and play well on the road. And that's right. And he feels that these guys go on the road, and then they come home and they got everybody going nuts, and all the crowds are great. Every game just about, minus Penn State, are sold out at Rutgers. But all the other games in the league are sold out. It's just tough to win on the road. And I'm disappointed because I love them so much. But they're 13-4. They're 3-3 in conference. They come home to Purdue. But I'll be honest with you. They got 2 games coming up. They've got to win, all right? On Saturday night, they go against Purdue, a tall team, a lengthy team. But I'll be honest with you. I don't have much doubt that they're going to win at home. I really don't. And then they go to Northwestern, arguably the worst team in the Big Ten. They've got to put that road win together. They have to. So hopefully, maybe the next time we talk, we'll be 5-3, or Monday we'll be at least 4-3 in conference, because these other games don't mean much. It's all about the conference, just like it's all about the division. In football. But I got to tell you, from Friday till about Tuesday night, it was maybe one of the worst sports weekends in recent memory. And I'll be honest with you, I was devastated by the baseball scandal. To me, what the Astros did is maybe one of the worst things that's happened in sports in so long I don't remember.
Well, and then you look down the tree and say, well, where are the Orioles guys that were Astros guys? Now the core has gotten fired. I mean, if I'm Elias and I'm Meidel and I'm innocent and I knew nothing about that, I would have had the press conference yesterday. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't want any association. You know, it's like our mayor here last year. If you had any association and you had nothing to do with it, you step up and say I had nothing to do with it. Here's my phone. Check it out. I don't know, man. I mean, I feel like it's more pervasive in baseball than we think when the Astros and the Red Sox are doing it and winning 100 games a year, and guys are leaving that organization and saying, there's something scandalous going on over there. But, I mean, I went back into the history of baseball here, Bruce, and talk about Jackie Robinson and racism and free agency and the strikes and steroids. And in my era, all these guys sticking themselves with needles and lying to everybody and making magic milkshakes while their heads grew by 5 inches and they hit 75 home runs and looked like Paul Bunyan. I'm not shocked by anything, but systemic cheating, yeah, I would, the Belichick thing, it grosses me out that you could have rings and all of this money and all of this fame and you are a serial cheater, And I feel like in baseball, the sign stealing thing and the video era has sort of led to this being the next line of crime, right, in the game. And how it's policed and how it's punished is going to set the tone for what comes next, because they all have video cameras and they're all over the place, and they've all been taught to steal signs since they were 12 and wink, wink, wink. And if I catch you, I'm going to throw the ball at your head, and then we're going to go fake fight, hit each other with purses. And you know what I mean? Like, this is baseball. And I think for any of us to think that it's Mickey Mantle and cornflakes and everybody's following the rules, that's clearly not the way baseball is, right?
No, it's not. And to me, Nestor, I don't understand why there's no talk of stripping the Astros of their title.
What difference would it make, though? What does that vacating titles? I mean, I hear that. That's a sports talk term. What does that mean? What does that mean? They have to take the banner down in the stadium. Okay,
to the franchise. It is a disgrace to the franchise. It is a disgrace to baseball that you allow cheating. Look, I sit there and I think about, what's his name, Jose Altuve, hitting all these home runs, a little guy. You think that had something to do with the fact that he knew fastballs were coming in? Of course it does. And how about pitchers' lives? Pitchers' careers who might have been ruined because of it. I mean, it's beyond belief.
Well, but you would say that about a corked bat. You would say that if you were a guy in 1995 that didn't want to fly to the Caribbean and get stuck with needles and maybe overdose yourself with some synthetic thing. You have no idea what the hell you're putting in your body. But 80% of the guys in the game were doing it because they had to do it to get the $10 million contract. If they didn't do it, Ken Caminiti would be doing it. You know what I mean? So... or Jose Canseco will be doing it and taking your job. So, all of that in sports has been something that we don't talk about. But, boy, Bill Belichick, to think that, like, he's the only one with monkeys and trees with cameras when there's cameras everywhere, I don't know, man. And now that it's been outed, to your point, what's the punishment? And I said the other day that the crime never fits the punishment. You know why? They had a parade, and they all got rich, to your point, right? Like, we could take the title away from them, but you really can't take the title away from them, I guess is my point.
No, you can't, but you could take the honor away because you don't deserve the honor. And that's my point. And, yeah, I think Brady's forever been tarred a little bit with Deflategate. But, I got to tell you, Deflategate, it doesn't rise to this level. This was a coordinated 20-person, system that included Beltran and Alex Cora. And then the Red Sox won the title. Who knows what was going on there? It's a real bad day for baseball, and I mean bad day.
If the Orioles were cheating, they're doing a lousy job.
Listen. We can honestly think that they're not cheating because you don't lose 110 games.
Maybe you do.
No, you don't. You don't cheat when you're losing 110. I'm not even concerned about that. Yeah, I think Elias should come out and say he had nothing to do with it, if that's the case, and I'm sure it is, or else he'd have been burned. In other words, I think that they had enough info to burn him, but and then the players get off scot-free because they all got immunity. Carlos Beltran got immunity to testify, and he was one of the leading culprits. Now he's the manager of the Mets for 5 years. Well, that might be a penalty in and of itself.
Bruce Posner here with his unique take on sports. Terp Talk is the way to find him out on Twitter as well as on the web. And, of course, each and every Monday morning doing his, doing the Monday morning. It's like quarterbacking, but more like point guarding this time of the year. It is basketball season, and we got baseball around the corner. For you with the Terps here moving into this quadrant of the schedule, sort of shaking this thing off, and as to your point, playing a pretty big game at home, they still got to go on the road twice again next week. This is the rocky point in the season for them, no doubt about it.
Yeah, it is, and you know what? You can never get that upset about one game in a 20-game season on the road where they were underdogs. So it wasn't like they were expected to blow them out. But when you're passionate about the team, it's like everybody's passionate about the Ravens. You have to get through it. And to me, and I wrote about it yesterday, that one bad game cannot ruin this glorious season where they won 12 in a row and gave this city so much joy that you can't even define it. And I'm over it now. I was devastated on Saturday, as you were. Okay? I mean, man, you must have put in 200 man-hours putting your trips together for the Super Bowl. And, down the drain. But I have to tell you that, when you look back at the season, we almost had like 8 straight playoff games that we had to win to get to the bye. And, it was like every game was life or death, right or wrong. In other words, all right, we got to win. Like Harbaugh kept saying, we've done nothing yet. Well, when they were 11-2, they had done a lot. And when they made the playoffs 4 weeks early, that was phenomenal. But the pressure stayed on. And I just don't know what happened in that game. To me, it was an aberration, and, maybe analytics got the best of us that day, but the Titans sure did.
Well, you got to tackle the running back. That's pretty fundamental, right? That's football. It's been that way 100 years. If you can't tackle their running back, you can't win. I mean, literally.
Yeah, for sure. So, Nestor, let's put this behind us, and I will tell you this. You made a good point. Being on Monday morning at 8 o'clock is great, and I'll tell you why. You get to comment on everything that happened over the weekend. And to me, I'm a huge lacrosse guy, all right? So I get to comment on what's going on with Maryland and Hopkins and Loyola and UMBC.
Awesome.
And then, golf. I'm also a big golf guy. I mean, you're going to hear a lot about the majors with me, a whole lot about the majors. I'm going to bring on some unbelievable guests to NST. And you get that. It's a great way to start the week, and we know that a lot of people are listening Monday morning at 8 o'clock on the work because I've been told already after I've been on the air for 2 weeks, and I'm in that spell where nobody even knows I'm there yet, but the word's getting around, and it's a great time, and I thank you for giving me that time. Well, you're charging me for that time. It's a great deal. I don't blame you for not giving it to me, but you didn't gouge me. You made a fair deal, and I'll be an asset to you, I promise.
Appreciate you, man. We'll get you on Monday morning, and hopefully you're in a better mood. Hopefully we're all in a better mood next. Hey, man, I got to fly down to Miami again in a week, and after 2 weeks from Monday, I'm in Miami, and people are asking me, like, you sure you want to go down there and do that? And I'm like, it's 27 years we've done the Super Bowl, win, lose, or draw. It is going to be very hard to sit there and stare at Ryan Tannehill or Derrick Henry or, Pat Mahomes all week and look at that on the wall around the media center. But, I'm going to take my medicine. And as we've said, and Luke said this to me on the way out, maybe it's just meant that we're going to go back where Arthur Modell wore the cocoa nuts in Tampa. And maybe it's meant to be that we're going to, Lamar's going to hoist the trophy in Florida in the same place that Ray Lewis did 20 years ago, right? So maybe, right?
Hey, there's no doubt about it. And maybe we should be on the road for the playoffs. I don't know. All right.
Appreciate you, Bruce. We'll see. Maybe we need a bus trip to Pittsburgh or New England. Maybe not. No. I won an AFC championship game at home. Bruce Posner, Terp Talk, the way to find him out on Twitter, and Terp Talk as well. 8 a.m. each and every Monday morning here live on WNST. And bringing great guests on, doing a lot of Terps talk, but also doing some lacrosse, and as he pointed out, some golf, and certainly some baseball. We still play baseball around here. I think we do. Yes. Tickets aren't on sale. Don't get your Oriole tickets now because you can't. Nasty at WNST.net. Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Instagram, streaming live on our Facebook as well as our YouTube WNSTV channel. We are WNST.net, AM 1570 and WNST Towson, Baltimore. And we never stop talking. Baltimore sports, even when it hurts.